Potatoes resemble people in different ways. They are similar in their diversity and how they are shaped throughout their lifetime. Humans come in all different shapes, colors, and sizes, yet they are the same species. They share the same DNA but are genetically diverse, which makes them similar to potatoes. They also possess different values, personalities, and skills which makes them valuable in different ways. Due to these reasons, this game is applicable and can be altered to be played in different KLAs. In order to meet the third and fourth outcomes P3 and P4 of the Society and Culture preliminary course, this tabletop role-playing game is designed to raise students' awareness of ethnic, cultural, and language diversity in various Australian societies. This game also targets breaking stereotypes related to ethnicity and socio-economic status. This game also correlates with bourgeois theory of social capital as it highlights that diverse educational fields require awareness of different social, cultural, and economic capital. The game required Chloe, the grade 11 teacher, to bring a bag of different colored and shaped potatoes and place it in front of the students. She picks two potatoes to roleplay herself and her inspiring friend, then roleplays a narrative through character development. Then the teacher asks each student to think of a friend or inspirational person from any background or class to share their story with their peers. Then they pick a potato and examine its different features and how it resembles their friend or inspirational person. Then students take turns in role-playing by telling their inspirational person's story. After the discussion, the potatoes go back in the bag, and reflecting on the discussion, each student selects a different potato which symbolizes a different friend or role model whom they have learnt about.
I was inspired by my neighbour Selena. When I first met her, I didn't understand why she looked, dressed and acted a little different to me and everyone I knew. When I met her the second time, she had invited me to her house during the school holiday, and that's when I got to know more about her. At first she apologised for her weak English-speaking skills, as she had been raised for most of her life in Syria but had to take refuge in Australia after the war. I told her that she's doing great and that I'm happy to help her and would love to learn more about her language and culture. She said that she does not have many friends because she's still working on her speaking skills and is very busy studying for her HSC. She also mentioned that her family cherish their language and culture and only speak their home language at home. Even though her spoken English was not too fluent, she was working very hard to achieve the highest marks in her schooling at our local public school. I was astonished to find out that her academic achievements and marks were equivalent to students whose first language was English. I thought to myself, Selena might not be speaking perfectly, but she must be very bright and ambitious to overcome the social challenges and barriers and achieve high marks. I was more fascinated when I found out that her older sister had arrived at Australia when she was 18, completed her HSC and struggled, but is making her way to become a psychologist, which she had always dreamt of doing. Because I had become quite close to my new friend, I discovered that both her parents are working extra hours besides studying to be able to accommodate for the needs of the family. Her parents struggled financially because they could not work with their overseas qualifications and were required to study and attain Australian degrees to work in salary-paid jobs. After almost 2 years of becoming friends, sometimes I ask myself, how did I rush into judging her as different without allowing some time to understand that her life, culture, religion and experiences had shaped her into who she had become?
After all students have finished, the teacher asks the students, "What did you learn from this game?" For example, Nadine said in relation to the teacher's narrative,
You have changed my view on refugees. I did not know all their struggles and that many of them worked so hard to achieve their goals and contribute to the Australian community.
the teacher said,
You are correct, Nadine. There are many stereotypes that circulate in our communities. We must ensure that we do not contribute to any of this generalisation or circulate any stereotypes.
If we were to become potatoes, we would consider each other valuable, no matter what our backgrounds are, and interesting in whatever we choose to do, just like all potatoes are flavorsome despite their different types and no matter how they are cooked. In conclusion, despite all the discourses, this game encourages students to view other members of the community through a clear and individualized lens rather than echoing generalizations.